And just like that, big time video. So, are you guys ready? Are you ready for the decade of domination? I can't wait to bring you this little video today. So, you ready? Get set here for the next 7 or 8 minutes because of what I'm getting ready to share to you. Absolutely, absolutely will get your decade of domination. Craig and I were talking about that the other day, the decade of domination. So I love new decades. I love new decades, especially because you get to think differently. Now you think about calendar years. Now you're thinking decade. So let's get right to it. All right, I'm going to click here. And you ready? Check this out. Boom. There it is. The report that you've been waiting for. So let me ask you, have you got your seat, your travel, everything booked for February 7th, 8th, and 9th in Orlando, Florida for the ultimate lead generation and conversion conference? Do you realize that we've never done 3 full days specifically just on lead generation and conversion? Nothing else. Like we've never done it. We've always included some other things in our events, obviously. Well, if we're going to begin a decade of domination, okay, like you want your real estate company, okay, you want that thing to boom, just do amazing stuff for you, your life, and others. Well, you got to think that way. Like you got to be thinking domination. So have you sketched out your plans for your decade of domination? Like looked forward 10 years. I've got them right here on my desk. I won't show it to you right now. I'll bring it to the actual conference and share it with you. But right here on my desk, my home office is lots of notepads and scaled out what this thing's going to look like in the next decade. So let's set it up right there. Okay, coming up in February in Orlando, Florida, the Ultimate Lead Generation and Conversion Conference. So I have here a report that we've put together specifically for you. Okay, for you. Now look, I know Craig and I, your coach, Catherine, everybody else associated with the Craig Proctor system, look, we know we don't have to motivate you to get up every day and go to work. We realize that. You don't have a work ethic issue. Okay, we get that. But let's say that you really are intent now to take this business that you're building and over the next decade, do things that maybe you didn't previously think you could do, but now that you're here, you're like, I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking way bigger. Maybe my $1 million gross commission income business is now in 10 years, 100 million. Oh, there are people that will absolutely be doing that. Don't question that. I don't think anybody doubts that. Maybe your $100,000 a year gross commission income job is now a $100,000 a week gross commission income enterprise. Okay, maybe it's something like that. Maybe instead of helping 50 people over the next year, maybe you're going to be helping 50 people every day. Okay, every minute. These are all things that are possible. But the only thing that will make it possible is an overflow of business. So no matter what your big goals are, without more business than you can get to, you can't achieve those goals. Okay, let's make sure we're clear on that. The reason we're doing 3 full days in Orlando, Florida, the Ultimate Lead Generation and Conversion Conference is for that reason. If we're going to create a decade of domination, the one thing that we got to have above everything else, an overflow of business, always. Like you can't say, well, I got a little bit more business than I can handle now, but next month, I don't have enough. No, you have to always have an overflow, more business than you can get to. That's the critical ingredient in being able to grow any business, right? So let's take a look then at the report and share a little bit of the details that we're going to be getting into over the 3 days when we get together as a group to work on our businesses, to prepare our way for making this thing happen. Now, look, if you're content with your real estate business the way that it is, if you're satisfied, if you're like, I'm good, I don't need any more growth, I don't need any more business, I don't want any more money, I don't want any more satisfied customers, I'm just completely fine the way it is, you can sit this one out. Okay, this will not work for you. But if you're not satisfied, if you have big goals, if you want more money, you want more income, you want more influence, you want more satisfied customers, okay, all of those things, yet this is one that you can't set out. Okay, it's not optional. Okay, so if you were planning on, I'll just catch the next one. No, that's not how this works. Start the decade out on a path of doing things differently than you did in the previous decade. Show up more. All right. So extraordinary level of achievement is not possible, but inevitable. Get that? So the first thing we got to clear up in our head is, okay, yeah, I believe it's possible. You have to now believe that it's happening. It will be that way. Okay. So generating a steady flow of leads, converting them to lifetime customers, not compete, but dominate. Those are the big themes here. All right. So we've seen enough evidence, as the report indicates, of people in the system here that have gone from relative obscurity, 100,000, a couple hundred grand a year. They're doing pretty well. They got a good real estate career, got a good job going, and all of a sudden, boom, $1 million a month in revenue for some of these people. Like, what in the world is going on here? How's that even possible? 4 million, 5 million is one thing, but $1 million a month? What is this really going to look like over the next decade? Some of these Craig Proctor system members that are doing like $1 million a month, as you're reading the bullet points there, they're young. Like they're like in their 30s. Like these aren't old people. Like they're not like old guys like me, in their 50s. They're 20 years younger than me doing income like that. So what in the world is their business or future going to look like? Right. So I don't know about you. I'm interested in hanging around just to see what really happens here with this gig. All right. But look, I plan on doing the same for sure. I'm right there with all of you. All right. So a few things. Competing's not good enough. That's not what we want to do. We don't want to just compete. We want to play this game to win. It's a game worth playing. Life is about progressing and moving up. Okay. We do understand that all of the things that we've been very, very good at in our life are the things that we were the most committed to. So let me ask you, are you committed to this? If you're all in, if you're really committed, like you've already booked your travel, you've already booked your seat, you're watching the video right now to get even more motivated and pumped up about what's going to happen here when you master lead generation. Okay. When you master this thing and you can convert at will prospects, it's your decade of destiny, as they say, is at hand. Okay. So now we've mailed this report to you. You should have it either in your inbox and or your mailbox, if not both. Okay. So let's think this through for a minute. Number one commitment, we understand that we're committed to our big goals. We're committed to growing our real estate enterprise and business. All right. But commitment is more than just saying we're committed. Like it requires different levels of activities and actions. Okay. So putting 3 days together, that's nothing but jam-packed session after session after session on lead gen and conversion. Okay. Just makes sense, don't it? Doesn't that make sense, the way to start the decade out that way? All right. So you do know that all of our most successful members, those people that are doing the best, they've already booked their seats. They're probably coming in early already to mastermind and hang out with and network with others in the system. I'm sure they're already all set. They've already got things planned. They've already had that done for a while. So what we're asking you to do is the same thing that they do. Okay. So enough self-doubt and more projection of our big goals into this thing. And look, I'm just saying, if your goals are big enough, you've already decided like you've got to be at like everything, the coaching, the training, especially all the conferences. Okay. Plus a couple other things. Let's look, as it says right there on the right-hand side of your screen, like you work hard, like you get up every day, you're doing the work anyway. So if you're going to do the work anyway, why not get 3 times more out of the work that you're doing, right? You know that it's possible. If you continue the same routine, you can sort of predict your results. Is that right? So in order to get different results, achieve bigger goals, hopes and dreams, help more people, level of income, it will probably require doing some things differently than you've done them in the past. Agreed? Okay. So that's it. So everyone who does a better than good means, how should we say that? Not average, not better than average, but just always better than whatever is better than average. You get that? That's what better than good is. You've heard me say that quite a bit on the conferences and webinars. Like, what does that level look like? Okay, so for 3 days, that's it. It's to get your clear picture, not just mapped out in your mind on paper in a business plan, but actually put into action. Okay, so if I use the words like, hey, your biggest challenge probably is obscurity. There's not enough people that know who you are or what you're all about. Okay, well, if that's the case, then and we decided, well, we need to become less obscure. So we're going to go with an omnipresence strategy across multiple platforms and social media. Okay, so when I say that, that all sounds really good. But if I said, okay, go and do it, if you didn't have absolute clarity on exactly what to do and how to get it done, it's likely not much happens. You have to sort of make it up as you go along. Okay, so this is the opportunity to go ahead and submit now and into the future overflow of leads, but not just any leads, good, solid, ideal customer type prospects, right? Now, it won't do us any good to generate all of these leads if we can't convert them to face-to-face appointments. Agreed? Agreed. All right, so let's take a look then at what's going to happen on day one, and then you can get a better idea and prepare yourself for showing up. Oh, a word on prep. If you're just really busy all the time being a real estate agent and it's like, oh my gosh, it's time to go to the conference, and you just sort of pack your bags and get on a plane and show up there in Orlando with no really clear plan of why you're there and what you're trying to accomplish, that's a disadvantage, okay? It's still better than not coming at all, that I can assure you. But no prep work involved ahead of time, that's not cool. So I'm gonna make some suggestions to you on some prep work, so that when you show up here, you get the most out of the experience, okay? So let me give you one right now. First, what is most important to you right now in your business? All right, what's most important to you right now? I want you to write that down, okay? But it's probably a generalized statement. Oh, I don't have enough business, okay? Or I'm not reaching enough of the leads that I'm generating, okay? Whatever your biggest issue or is, the issue has to be clearly defined. You follow me? So we start with a general idea of what's most important. We start with a general description of what the big issue is, but we've got to get that issue clearly defined into what the actual issue is. Does that make sense? So that requires a little bit of work and networking, probably a consult with someone here in the system that has mastered it. So I'd recommend that you start there. Write down your 3 to 5 biggest issues that you're having in your business. What's most important to you now would be solving those issues. And now between now and February 7th, we've got to show up here with absolute clarity on what the issue is. And over those 3 days, we're going to be plugging in the solutions with absolute clarity. Okay, we're going to be plugging in those solutions so that your movement toward implementation is super fast. Okay, all right, so let's check it out. Obviously, we're going to start out by checking in, and you got to get your credentials. We've changed the credentials up for 2020 differently. So you have to get credentials every time you check in, okay, and get registered to pick those things up. All right, so make sure you make a note of that. If you show up and say, oh, I'm just going to recycle some previously used credentials, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to get in the door. Plus, I think we're at the point where we're having to bring in some outside security to make sure that you and I, people that are in the system are the ones actually getting in the door. All right, so we're going to start out the day with this whole mindset of sitting around my office, thinking every day, and then putting things into place that I'm thinking about, okay, all stem from some basic principles. And there's 8 essential principles here that if we violate them in any way, it's going to have a serious impact on our ability to actually generate the leads that we want to get, let alone actually turn it into dollars. All right, so we got to identify those, and we got to work within those principled parameters. And if you violate them, I can assure you, business ain't going to be what you want it to be. Okay, that's going to pave the way for Craig to come in on this next session here, and he's going to say, look, this is what he's going to take the stage, he's going to look you in the face, he's going to say, look, what I want for you is not merely to be a little better than anyone else. That doesn't get Craig all excited and motivated even to, show up in Orlando. What does is you clearly being envied by your competition, and that which means you're dominating. So he's going to peel back the onion just a little bit or a lot, depending on your level of involvement here, and he's going to reveal to you some trade secrets to dominate your marketplace. Okay, got it? Lead generation systems, trade secrets, so that you clearly understand what it takes to dominate. You got it? You got that? You can absolutely do that. All right, so let's continue on. Okay, thank you, Craig, for that. All right, next. You know that wealth is primarily created based on doing the opposite of what the majority do. Okay, the majority is almost always wrong about everything when it comes to money making, marketing, lead generation, that sort of thing. So we're going to show you all of the various ways that you can offer things differently than everybody else is doing. That will lead to more and more leads. So like some of the guys at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty here in Georgia and surrounding areas that we work with, and that we do a lot of testing to see what works and what doesn't work, having super success by offering access to homes that you won't find in MLS or won't find listed by other real estate agents, because that's the norm online. Offering homes that you will find online, you will find in MLS, you will find from other real estate agents, seems to be the predominant method of ads. All right, but that's a bit general. So we got to look at the specifics on what those offers are specifically, and then how and where to offer them all. So I'm super excited about that. That 1 hour right there will make you a lot of money and lead generation, and will become a regular method for you and regular way of doing things as you move forward through the decade of domination. All right, next, repurposing things. Like all of your ads that you're running right now, all of them that work should be repurposed into other pieces of marketing. I'll give you a quick example. I did a Facebook Live video the other day, and took that video and chopped it up into about 5 different videos, small, short videos, 60-second videos that got used on the same platforms that we were using the big video on, as well as other platforms that made sense for smaller videos. Okay, so that's just a way of using the video. Also transcribed the original video into words, gets posted on a blog page, okay, and used like that. The blog gets posted, the link to the blog gets posted on social media platforms. You get that? That's repurposing. So you've got to become an expert at repurposing things that work, and you're going to when you're in Florida there, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Let's look at the next session after the break. It's not who you know, it's who knows you. And that is no question about that. So we've got to escape this obscurity thing I mentioned to you a little bit ago. I believe probably your number one issue right now is that. Okay, it's just not enough people to know who you are and the job that you can really do for them, how you can really help them. Just not enough people that know that. So I don't know how you're going about telling the story right now, but in Florida, over those 3 days, we're going to kick it off there at 3:15 on day 1, but you're going to see that continue on as a strategy throughout the rest of the conference of attracting more people to us in a good way, and then learning who we are and what we're all about, so that by the time they do connect with us, dude, they're pre-sold. Okay, all right, like that. Next, MLS. I read just today from Inman News, I think it was, that there was a class action lawsuit that had been filed against Zillow. Did you hear about that? And it had to do with Zillow featuring a premier agent, sort of making it look like they were the agent that had the insider information on a particular listing. We know that's not the case, but the public seems to be a little bit misled. So there's a class action lawsuit going on. Look, we already know how the story ends. It just ends with more and more and more agents with listings. People who have sellers, they just move away from doing business that way. Right? Smart people are not going to just willingly take their hard work, their life's work, their marketing the results of their marketing and then freely give that away to competition. Just not, it doesn't even make sense. So what's missing for a lot of people is just the know-how how to avoid doing that. Like, I know right now, Craig and I know that you guys that are watching this video, everybody watching this video, would like to generate more business, but still have the peace of mind certainty you can service your clients really well, getting them what they want outside of MLS. We understand that fully. Okay, so it only makes sense for us to dive into, show you how to do it. Okay, you do realize that Craig Proctor, me, of course, I'm Craig Proctor Light, implementing the Craig Proctor system. We were making millions of dollars before the MLS went public, before you could even find it online. All right, so we were doing this for a long time. It's how we built our businesses. No way, Jose, did we rely on those 3 letters right there to sell anything. Okay, so we'll show you how to do that. Then we're going to wrap up the first day with a big, giant party. So I want to thank our friends at Success for sponsoring that ahead of time. Thank you. All right, so you got that? All right, good. Now, I like this quote right here. You're an extraordinary business owner who has the power to change lives. And that's who you are. So you want to look at sort of what you do for your business or in your business as that's what it is. It's a catalyst for lifestyle change. Hey, what do you do? Well, we help people elevate their lifestyles through, when they're buying and selling a house with us. Yeah. And then people are like, wow, how do you do that? Okay, I like that. That's a pretty good mission statement, actually. Vacation is fun, but travel is not, right? Right. So endless lineups, countless security hurdles, delays, crappy food, hours wasted. We get all that, but you must just put up with this to get yourself to the Ultimate Lead Generation Conference, all right? And Conversion Conference. Like, you got to put up with that travel deal. It's okay. It's just for a little bit. We put up with the travel hassle to gain what we most want in life. Okay, like it, I've got no problem. All right, we've done a lot of crappy things in our life, and you'll continue to do a lot of stupid, crappy things, okay, that sort of look like they're a waste of time, but the reality is it's just a test, man. People who pass the test of putting up with the hassle, making that sacrifice, they get the rewards. The folks who say, oh, I don't like travel. Oh my God, it's going to cost like $1,000 to get to Orlando, for the day, for those 3. Yeah, everybody should understand that is a built-in mechanism so that only those that are fully committed and all in win. Okay, it's just the way the universe is set up. All right, day 2, February 8th, 2020. Got to get used to seeing those dates on there, right? Okay, we're going to start the day out with this 3-pronged approach of database marketing to get at least 1 referral a year for life from every single client. Okay, you like that? So you've heard us talk about the 3 R's. 5-star reviews, repeat customers, returning customers, and referrals. Okay, we've got to make all 3 of those things work simultaneously together to scale. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is with consistent or predictable systems that make this work without your constant involvement. And when you do this well, the outcome is pretty much at least 1 referral a year from every single client for life. So it makes sense to drill down and work on that there, right? Okay, at 10:30, this may be the #1 way to get listings. Okay, what Craig Proctor's system millionaire agents are doing with direct mail to dominate their marketplaces. Look, direct mail can be very, very expensive, okay, in one way, okay, but it can also be very, very, very lucrative in a different way. So if you're going to play the game inside the mailbox of your customers, okay, then you want to play it to win. All right, so that does require strict adherence to certain principles, methods, and message to market match to dominate. So you're going to see what's working and what's not working during that session when it comes to direct mail. All right, next, after lunch on day 2, the money is in the follow-up. Okay, so we've broken this down into 2 parts for you. 80% of all sales are made between the 5th and 12th contact. exactly how to follow up the leads using every tool at your disposal for maximum conversion to appointments. And then part two is about speeding up the entire sales process. You ever had a prospect that you've generated? Listen to this one closely. Have you ever had a prospect that you've generated? You talk to them on the phone. They're like, "Oh, I'm not quite ready right now. Why don't you call me back in about 6 months?" And you're like, "Okay." And you're a pretty good follow-upper, so you schedule a call in half the time that they say. You follow back up with them 3 months later, half the time that they said. And what did they say? "Oh, you're not going to believe this. We just bought a house like last week. Yeah, aren't you happy for us?" And you're like, "Yeah." So, look, I certainly understand that. So we know the process can be sped up. Okay, it can be. So what is it that speeds the process up? So that number one, you're there when they're buying versus overshooting on your follow-up. In other words, missing the mark. Okay, all right, you got it? All right, good. Then at the end of day two there, we're going to split the room up. Coaching members are going to go with an all-star panel to work on things that make sense on where they are right now in their journey in success with the Craig Proctor system. Okay, and for me and Craig, when we were talking about this, it's more branded marketing systems. You know, platinum members spend enormous amounts of time on branded marketing, USP-driven marketing. Okay, so coaching members, we want to introduce them to all of that. So we're going to be doing that in Florida during that time at the end of day two. Platinum members now are going to be in the room with some of our top level members, walking you through, okay, how to get others converting at the same level or better than you. Does it make sense? So your people are only as good as what they know to do and how they know to pull it off. That's just how good they are. You're as good as your team is. Okay, so once you start bringing on employees, ISAs and OSAs, the reason you're doing it is you have an overflow of leads. Okay, well, if we can't convert those prospects to closings, what happens? Right, like you can't afford the salaries and you end up making less money than you did when you were out there trading time for money. It's not supposed to be that way. So at the end of the day, you're going to discover from these top level Craig Proctor system members how to avoid trading time for money, number one, and number two, how to get more people on your team converting at higher levels than even you could on your own. Okay, and that's how these great sales teams do such great things. All right, after dinner on day two, we're going to get back together for even more conversion on working with sellers. The listing presentation is really just an orientation to your sales process. You get that? Okay. But what we want to do when we're converting customers to signed agreements, we want our optimum fee. So what I've discovered is there are three things really, that lead to you getting your optimum fee when working with sellers. Number one is positioning or pre-selling, their perception or conception of you before you ever show up. That's number one. Number two, demonstration of value while you're face-to-face with them. Demonstration. Okay, got that? And number three, the fee they're paying you is an investment into more money for them. Get that? So that's what's going to be happening after dinner on day two there. If you're into getting more commission, that's the session for you. Okay. All righty. So let's take a look at this Craig Proctor Quantum Leap Agent Manifesto. I don't know if you saw this on social media, but this thing's amazing. It's included in the report that we sent you. But here's what I would do. I would grab this manifesto. I would print it off. I'd put it right there in a frame on my desk. I think we've blown them up and got them in the office, put them on cards for all the agents. But look, you want to become this. Let's check it out. A Quantum Leap agent is an advanced breed of real estate agents. Okay, smarter and more strategic. Someone who embraces the power of systems and who equally values a superior customer experience and their own freedom. Quantum Leap agents wage guerrilla warfare against traditional real estate paradigms and become crazy rich, like we were talking about with the MLS a minute ago. Quantum Leap agents launch renegade marketing strategies that automatically attract the best of the best clients and deliver unparalleled service for these clients to create a win-win. A quantum leap agent does not see problems. They leverage opportunities. In other words, they want more problems, okay? Because they know the opportunity in solving the problem equals great wealth power, okay? A quantum leap agent is a doer. They do not wait for perfection. They show up, they implement, they test, they retest. I'm not satisfied with just a little incremental gain. No matter the size of their team, or even if they have a team at all, quantum leap agents are not solo agents because they are part of a network that nurtures them, coaches them, and wants them to succeed. Okay? If you ask the average real estate agent, they'll tell you that what quantum leap agents are doing won't work in their marketplace or for them at this time. My business is different. My customers won't do that. That won't work. That's a gimmick, or whatever their excuses are. But yet, quantum leap agents, regardless of gender, age, experience, or their marketplace, we prove them wrong every single day. Quantum leap agents are motivated, knowing they are just one system away. I am a quantum leap agent. Are you? All right, day 3. Let's see how we're going to wrap this ultimate lead conversion. Ultimate lead generation and conversion conference. Let's see how we wrap this thing up on day 3. So starting out Sunday, February 9th, we're going to do some training early in the morning on the CRM at 7:30 in the morning. Okay. So from 7:30 to 8:45, Christy Filion is going to lead a team on showing you how to get more out of your CRM, specifically the Engage CRM that Success website brings to you. So you're going to want to show up for that. If you have it and you want to know how you can use it better to monetize and systemize your business, you want to be at this training. If you don't have the Success website Engage CRM, this is your chance to see it actually being used and get more about it. Okay, get to know more about it. Okay, ready? All right, next, 9 o'clock. We're going to move from there into actually getting more leads without your involvement. So we're going to talk that morning a bit more about Google and some other paid marketing systems that can work to bring business in without you having to spend a lot of time on it. Okay. As a matter of fact, if we lined up all of the millionaire agents in the Craig Proctor system from sea to shining sea across North America, you do realize that 100% of them have paid ads on Google and other online places, paid ads that run consistently that don't involve a lot of their energy and effort there, and return big money to them. Okay, good. All right, cool. Now at 10 o'clock, we're going to split the room up. Coaching members are going to go from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Okay, they're going to break out into the Key West ballroom, and we're going to start out by working on time management strategies, increasing implementation every day without going insane. So now that we've got this newfound knowledge of this Craig Proctor system and better ways to do things by hanging out with everybody in the Craig Proctor system, the challenge is going to be implementing these things. So coaching members are going to be in for a big treat there on how to actually go about getting things implemented every day methodically. So you wake up a year from now, and boom, your business is made a quantum leap. All right. Next, offers. If you haven't realized it yet, the business is made up of offers. We make offers. If we're doing things to generate business or convert business without an offer, we can already assume that we're probably not going to be moving the prospect to the next place in that pipeline. An offer moves them, one more time, an offer moves them from one point to the next point in your pipeline. So you can mess up a lot of things here, but you can't mess up the offers, okay? How many of you watching right now have an email signature with no offer? Okay, well, I want to go look at that. All right, so next, troubleshooting. So coaching members are going to learn how to troubleshoot and solve biggest issues. Like I said in the beginning, you can't show up to the lead generation and conversion conference without understanding what your biggest issues are specifically, and then looking for solutions here if you plan to get the most out of these 3 days. Okay, but this is something you're going to want to do every week. So coaching members are going to learn how to always be thinking about working on and figuring out what the biggest issue is, and then putting together the solution to that issue every week. Imagine solving your biggest issue on a weekly basis. So you scale businesses right there, people. All right, to wrap up that session between 10 and 1, okay, Platinum members are going to be in a different room. And you're going to discover how to increase your conversion with complete strangers by implementing more of DISC, the whole DISC system, right? So we've stumbled onto some new advanced methods for being able to identify people's personal concepts down to a micro level. Yes, we have. And we want to share that with you so that you can do a better job of selling people the way they want to be sold to, okay? Look, you got to understand what an objection is. You need to know what a stall is, and you need to know what a complaint is, okay? I'll give you a quick example. At a listing appointment, and the seller says, seller's looking at my paperwork, and he says, you know, Todd, the other agent, that I talked to a few days ago, they said that they would list my home for 5%. This after me showing them that my fee was 7%. So they look at me and they say, you know, Todd, the other agent said they would do it for 5%. Right? Stop there. What would you say? Okay, well, let me ask you, is that a complaint? Or is the guy stalling? Or is he raising an objection? And the answer is, you don't know. You don't know. We just know it's one of the three. So here's how you flush out what it really is. You ready? Here's my response. I certainly understand. I got you. I hear exactly what you're saying. I just need to get your initials here and your signature there so we can get rolling on this. Okay? Here's the pen. You see what I just did? I heard what he said. I said, I got you. I understand. I acknowledged it. And then I closed on him signing the paperwork. All right, now you'd be amazed at how many times people just say, they grabbed the pen, they signed the paperwork. In other words, it was just a statement. It was a comment or it was a complaint. You guys got it? It wasn't a real objection. So most salespeople actually validate the objections that are not really objections by making some issue out of it. You can't do that. That is not how you sell things, okay? That's just human nature kicking in. Okay, it's human nature. The guy's letting me go this far. He already knows my fee before I ever get to the paperwork. So he knew I was more money when he called me from the start. You know what I'm saying? So these are things, this is sales skills training, negotiating skills training, and closing skills training. Badly needed in the real estate industry. We got it. So that's what you're in for, Platinum members, between 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock. You guys got it? Yeah. Coaching members, time management strategies, convert more, troubleshooting. Platinum members, sales skills, negotiating skills, closing skills. All right. Then to wrap up the day, you got it. We're going to prep ourselves for the next meeting coming up in April, the Social Media Marketing Summit. Okay. So we're going to be looking at the Web Marketing Blitz. There's no way that you want to be waiting till mid-April. I think it might even be the third week. You don't want to wait till April to start implementing things that you need to be doing right now. That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. Okay. Some of you watching this that are in California right now are saying, oh, I don't know if I can get to Orlando from Los Angeles. That's a long ways. Or, yeah, it's a long ways. Log on to delta.com and book your airfare. Yeah. Yes, I agree. It's a long ways. Go to delta.com, book your airfare, and get going. Oh, well, it's going to cost me like $1,000. Yeah, I agree. It's $1,000. Get to delta.com and book your airfare. So you get what I'm saying here? Like whatever you're going to come up with, unless it's a birth, like your first grandkids being born or your first kids being born first, you're getting married, okay, or somebody close to you, God forbid, is not doing well health-wise, and it requires you to be there for them. Look, outside of those things, you can't excuse your way out of coming. Don't do that to yourself, okay? Getting and keeping your pipeline full in 2020, advanced online marketing and remarketing systems to round out the day. Those things that you know you need to be doing right now, but not really clear on exactly what to do and getting it done. So here's how I want to leave you on this report, okay? Writing down your goals hardwires you for success. Hopefully, by the time you watch this, you have already written out your goals. As a matter of fact, hopefully you're writing out your goals every day. So this real estate company right here, your home sold guaranteed, it's a habit that I try to instill into everybody there, that you write down your goals every morning before you start work. First thing you do, you write your goals down. As a matter of fact, I even told Dana, I said, do me a favor. You walk around to everybody in the office and you take a stamp. And there's no new anything. They can't do anything. They don't get credit for even working that day until you rubber stamp their goals that they wrote down that day. When you write down your goals, you stay goal focused. When you write down your goals every day, you're focused on achievement of your goals. And trust me, your goals will actually get bigger as you write them down. If you write them down once a year, they typically don't change or get any bigger. Don't do that to yourself. Write your goals down every day. It might be the same exact goal, but overnight or that previous day, you learn something. Okay, so I get writing down your goals for the year. It's just a general practice. Write them down every day. Okay, it will hardwire you for success. Okay, so here's what we've done. We've included here on this report your name, your 2020 gross commission income goal. Okay, so people who write down their goals, as we know, are more likely to achieve them. So I want you to go ahead and write down your goal. There it is right there on that page. Get that written down, scan that in, and send that to us. Okay, got it? Write that down. Scan this page in, make a copy of it, get that over to us immediately. Okay, next. Once you've completed the information here, which is the most pressing issues and who you want to meet and hang out with the most, okay? You guys get that? Once you've done that, I want you to scan this in and send it over to us, okay? Bring this list to the meeting, and while there, create your Quantum Leap initiative list. An initiative is a big rock. Let me give you an example. The Platinum Referral System, okay? That thing has about, I don't know, what's about 9 items on that checklist. That would be a big initiative. It's going to take you 3 months or more to get all that implemented or more, okay? And that's just the initial checklist, okay? That's not like a simple to-do. A to-do might be, I need to get my referral offer into my listing agreement. So you attach it to the last page of your listing agreement. That's a simple to do, right? Again, initiatives are big, big goals. All right, so one more time. Write down your big goal for 2020. Okay. Down here, write down the most pressing issue that you're having with your business that you plan to solve at the live meeting. We started out this video with that. And then who do we want to talk to? And what are your questions for them? Okay. All right. Then scan this thing and email this to Craig at craigproctor.com. We've got a special email here for you on that. Craig at Craig Proctor. All right. And then down here, we're going to bring this along. But when you roll out of this February 7th, 8th, and 9th, Ultimate Lead Generation and Conversion Conference, you're going to have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very, very crystal clear, big, giant rocks, quantum leap initiatives that you will put in place in your business. And there you go, my friends, is your summary on the upcoming Ultimate Lead Generation and Conversion Conference. All right. Hope you enjoyed the video and you're pumped up for this thing right now, for your decade of domination. You don't let anyone or anything interfere in your goals, because trust me, there's a lot of people and there are a lot of things that want to get between you and your big goals in this life. That I can assure you. You're not going to wake up every day and drift towards success. You're not going to just go along with your normal routine every day and drift towards success. To be super successful requires effort, energy, design, constant course correction. As Craig uses that analogy to close out the conferences on the rocket ship, blasting off from here to the moon is on a constant course correction. Every few seconds, it's being corrected to get to its intended destination. Because left on its own accord, it's going to drift off, and who knows where it ends up. It sure as heck won't be the moon. You got it? All right. So see you February 7th, 8th, and 9th in Orlando, Florida at the Ultimate Lead Generation and Conversion Conference. Signing off from my house on Lake Lanier, my home office in North Atlanta. Go serve big. See you.